Good morning. It's not your fault. Or is it? People ask me, where do you get your material from, Sheena? And I go, from you guys. When you ask me questions, I can spot your paradigms, your programming a mile off. Like, you just have to have one sentence. Just one sentence. And I'm like, I know where you are. Now, the only reason I know that is because I've been there myself. Like, we may all have different circumstances on the outside. I'm going to tell you, I didn't get to 51 without having to go through a few things. Nobody came here scot-free, no matter what you see on the outside world. Everybody has something that they're actually dealing with. So here's the thing yesterday where I had somebody reach out to me and say, about that they felt like they'd been left. They bought a program and they felt that they'd been just left out in the open. And I said, well, how did that make you feel? And then, of course, we then go to the outside world and we go, well, they this, they that, they the other. And I'm like, I didn't ask you about them. I asked you about you. You see, every time you transfer something that you think is somebody else's problem, it's easier to deal with it out there, isn't it? And to actually feel it yourself and take your responsibility. So my question to you today is like, who are you blaming for how you're feeling? Are you blaming the circumstance? Are you blaming the government? Are you blaming the news? Are you blaming your children? And let me tell you, your children, they are your biggest teachers, let me tell you that. My son is my biggest teacher. But what are you blaming on the outside? And what I want to ask you this is, what does it feel like in here? What's the feeling you're experiencing? So this person was very honest with me and said what they were experiencing. And I said, that's great. Where else have you experienced this in your life before? How often does this come up? Oh my God, well, I live my life like that. That's the way it is. It comes up all the time. Boom, boom, right there. You see, when you look at all the studies and the science behind, and I'm going to go into this in the masterclass, I'm going to draw pictures out so you get it. Have you registered for the masterclass? Just flip and register, because I'm going to go through everything and just lay it out on the table. I'm going to draw you pictures so you get it. Because our conscious mind is between 2 to 6 seconds behind what the hell is going on. And I'll tell you about those studies as well. I'll tell you about the science behind who you are. So if you think that you're like 2 seconds behind what's going on, you're already feeling the feeling until you look at somebody and you think, well, it must be their fault. But you were already feeling it. You just weren't consciously aware of it, and it took something on the outside to show it to you, so you blame them. Like, say you're driving your car and somebody pulls in front of you and you shout at them. It wasn't them. It was that situation that woke you up to your own feelings. But you were in such habitual going forward, or asleep most of the time. And then, yeah, basically that's all I wanted to say. I mean, something just popped into my mind there about somebody else said about, well, you're going to sell to me. Hell bloody yes, I'm going to sell to you. Sell you back that you are freaking awesome. You're being sold to all the time, and you sell to yourself all the freaking time, don't you? You sell to yourself how crap you are. You sell to yourself that you're not good enough. You're selling to yourself anyway. All the time. You sell to yourself even that you can't afford to buy the programs. Because how many times do you say it? What is an affirmation? An affirmation, you say, well, I'll say this affirmation. I am a millionaire. I am a millionaire. But what are you saying to yourself most of the day? I can't afford it. I can't afford it. I can't afford it. They're the ones that are driving your results. There's no point in doing your affirmations in the morning thinking, right, well, I've done my affirmations. I've written them all down. Bob Proctor tells us to write down our affirmation 100 times a day. I've done it. And then the rest of the day, you're walking around going, I can't afford it. Good morning, Simon. I can't afford it. I can't afford it. What are you programming yourself with? What are you selling to yourself daily? But you're not paying attention to your thoughts, are you? I want to wake you up. So great if you're on the masterclass. If you're not, that's okay too. But I'm going to just vomit all over you, everything that I know. And there's a few spots left on the VIP, which means if you get on the Zoom part of it, because it will be streamed live, only streamed live in the Key and the Secret group. But I will be doing it on Zoom. So those people who get on Zoom, and there's a few spaces left, because I'm keeping it to below 100. So there's a few spaces left. And you've got a chance to ask a question after your question. I guarantee you, the question you ask and the answer I give is the answer that everybody needs to hear. Are you happy to be that vulnerable and ask that question? Because I guarantee you, just by asking the question, you're going to be helping everybody. I am so excited for that week, the 22nd of March, 7 o'clock UK time. I'm so excited. So what is it you would love me to deal with and love me to talk about? I guarantee you, everybody needs to hear the answer to your question. Listen, have an awesome day. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.